I would take the privilege on behalf of IRDI to welcome AP Sharma sir. I would like to introduce him. It is my privilege to rather introduce him. He is a science graduate and MPhil in economics. He has more than 30 years of experience as a leader and an academician. He is the national awardee from President of India in the year 2014. He is the CBSE National Award 2010 winner. He has won the Change Maker Award in the year 2021 by ABEA chairperson. He has won the award for Women Empowerment from UNESCO and Delhi Commission for Women in 2016. Academician of the Decade from WEF in the year 2016. Exemplary Leadership Award from our former president, late Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, 2018, and he has won many more awards and laurels. He has authored many articles on education and parenting. He has conducted more than 300 workshops for parents, principals, and teachers. All these say a lot about you, sir. He is an expert on design thinking and working for spreading awareness about latest pedagogy in education. He had been a member in NITI Aayog's committee for selecting activities for innovation labs under Atal Tinkering Lab. Sir, I'm honored to welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baidia. So it's my proud privilege to be here. And first of all, my congratulations to Dr. Suresh Nair and his team, Deepa Madam, and you and the whole team of IRDI. Any initiative in education is like a seed. When you put the seed, whether it's a proper seed in a proper direction or a different direction, it will come up. Only thing is it takes time. Until the seed is underground, seed sees all trouble, complete darkness, sometimes moments of despair. But that is what gives seed strength. And the strength just to have roots and come out of that particular surface, blast, and of course, become a sapling, tree, give fruits, give more seeds. And that is the situation of IRDI right now. And I'm quite sure that with this humble beginning, there are so many dimensions which you'll be covering. And there are so many things that this forum will be able to do. I know Dr. Nair's ideas, his vision, and of course, his approach. I think he knows most of the educationists in India. So I have no doubt about that the studio doing great in coming days. So when we talk about education and innovations, and that too, if we want to see it from the glasses of NEP, then it becomes imperative to talk that anything can happen in education anytime. So pandemic year 2020 and 21 has taught us lot many things. Above all, the most important thing is get ready for unexpected things. Become stronger to adapt and adopt. You have no other way. You can't run away with your responsibilities. What you saw, nobody used to know about Zoom. Nobody used to know about Microsoft Teams. We used to know about only Skype. Sometimes we were using Skypes, that too with low frequency, people talking, not talking, face observable, recognizable or not. But all of a sudden, everybody was forced to do all these things. getting into Zoom, Microsoft Teams, learning many lessons of these things, and then teaching. By 1 year, everybody was ready that yes, we are ready to teach students on Zoom, and then children are also getting acclimatized. There were challenges. There were challenges of knowledge gaps. There were challenges of mental health. There were other challenges of socialization and all other things. And what happens in 2021? All of a sudden, various boards decides that we will change the pattern of question paper and we will change the dates and the policy of examination. And that too with a very short notice. I'm sure that they would be having foresightedness in the interest of children only. But for teachers, it was very difficult to reassemble their tools and to give education as per the new requirements. But salute to the teachers, they got ready and they make them enable to understand the new concept, new strategy. Yesterday, I was on a television channel with the various experts from different countries, and 3 were from India, and we were talking about what is most important now after post-pandemic, when children have started coming to school. Everybody unanimously agreeing to one simple fact that we need to take care of their mental health, looking after their mental health, and we should not concentrate more on studies. When we were talking about that, I said that, tomorrow the half-yearly examination or first term timetable is going to be announced. And you are talking about students coming to school. And all of a sudden, one of my friends said, sir, today, one of the student was taken to the infirmary because he was feeling very much depressed. I said, why? Because there is a pre-board examination which will be taking place in the next week. And it was hardly 1.5 months students started coming to school, because parents and students, they think that before the examination, main examination, they need to appear in a pre-board examination, and CBSE announced from 15th November they will start. When the date sheet came, to our utter surprise, the main papers is starting from 1st December. I'm very straightforward. It is not to criticize government's policy, they are doing their best. But the most important thing is that we are the one who are dealing with the students at this front. I asked, then what happened? The child was saying that I was having too much pressure, and for the last 3-4 nights, I could not sleep because I had to present the project work before the deadline. I could not attend 3 classes of that teacher. And that's why my heartbeat gone up and he became unconscious. Doctors came, everything happened. This is one story, but this is the story of many children who are unsung, I won't say heroes, but unsung soldiers who are still struggling with many of the things, as they are not being considered as the stakeholders. We can't make them guinea pigs. Symbolically, I'm saying, to experiment with. That is one important thing. And we as a teacher and principal must try to understand that this is the time to console them. This is the time to give them opportunity to socialize, and slowly we have to gear up. The child's life and education system is not Ferrari, which has a great pickup. It is old Lambretta scooter, which will come in first gear, second gear, third gear, and then fourth gear and top gear. So the system of education and delivering it becomes very important, that we go slow but steady. The things here are very comfortable when we talk about having certain examination and evaluating a student on the basis of that examination. And we say that we have assessed a student. Evaluation and assessment are two different things. And assessment is done just to diagnose what are the problems, what are the shortcomings, what way we need to move further. And before evaluation, we as a teacher and principal must ensure that yes, After the assessment, all the remediation has been taken place and now child is ready for evaluation. It is just like a patient goes for certain kind of treatment, gone through certain kind of test, and before writing the final prescription, doctor looks at test, and after 15 days, when he evaluate, he finds medicines are working. But in education system, we forget that. We have assessment and then evaluation. Assessment, child did not do well, and evaluation will like that only. And we try to say it from one side of our glasses. We say child has not done well. And Dr. Suresh will agree with me and Deepa ma'am that if child has not done well, then somewhere teacher has not done well, principal has not done well, and parent has not done well. That responsibility we shy away. Parent says he is not listening to us. Principal says that he is indisciplined. Teacher says he was missing the class. But who is responsible for that? And it all three together try to see that yes, in the center of our interest is child, and let us all three should cooperate each other and to see that this student does very well. Then purpose is served for the education. Otherwise, this is thus shifting the blame from one shoulder to another. Just I would like to ask Dr. Nair how much time I have, till what time I can continue.
Sir, you can have up half an hour if you want.
I can have means 15 minutes more, correct? Or 20 minutes more?
20 minutes.
20 minutes more.
Yeah.
Do you want me to touch some specific areas also?
Go ahead, sir.
Any
Go ahead.
specific
Yeah.
area you wish
No,
to?
it's okay. I mean, how the technology has helped us and all that thing you can. No, it's not
Yes.
specifically. We don't have any, but you can just go ahead.
Because I have picked up certain kind of thing which I have not discussed anywhere, and it has come to my mind when I came to the diagnosis and all this
Okay.
kind of thing.
Go ahead.
And since Deepa ma'am is giving me very good response, I continued on that direction. So basically, if you are thinking that you are making teachers and students ready for anything and everything, then I think you are living in disguise. And not every time it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes it may be curse in disguise. Very simple example is, if you are making teachers ready for technology, you are teaching them different kind of tools that can be used in distance learning. You are getting children ready for technology. You don't know what will happen in next moment, what new technology, new tool will come. And that is something very important we need to teach our students and teachers, is that you have to empower yourself so that you learn how to learn and you learn what to learn and you learn why to learn. So if you know why to learn, two other things you will learn very easily. This is not teaching. This is learning. And then after learning, sharing your learning with others. If you think that your job is teaching, then you must consider that you are preaching. Teaching, preaching, learning, all three are different aspects. And beyond that, the most important thing teacher must keep in his mind is that when you are learning, try to unlearn, try to relearn. There are so many aspects. You never thought of Zoom. Now, many people are talking about education 4.0. Means the fourth revolution is coming. First, second, third is already gone. And since people started talking about second, third, fourth, and we realized, oh, there was first, second, and third also. Nobody realized. This means there should be some skills. And these are the skills where a person can observe, where a person can infer, where a person always have a curiosity to learn. If you have these skills, then you can create. you can solve, and you can be creative. And if you are creative, whatever tool comes, whatever changes comes in education technology, you will learn. One day you learn one technology and second day it becomes almost obsolete. And you think, oh, I took so much time to learn this and now people are saying, no, the another tool is better than this tool. What will you do? You will say, who will learn this one? Let me try this first. But that won't work. Students are from this particular age where we call them that they are from FOMA generation, and FOMA generation is fear of missing out. If they are putting up one particular post on social media and they are not getting sufficient number of likes, they get into depression. In classroom, if they don't find that attention from teacher, they will feel they will missing out. I saw somewhere one child said that she is my favorite teacher. Then was asked, why she is your favorite teacher? This child said, because she believes in me. Because she gives me opportunity to speak, she gives me opportunity to do well. Right now, just half an hour before, in my office, one teacher came to me and she said, sir, since you are going to India or Dubai or somewhere else, I have just to say you that we will all miss you and we will miss your Shakalaka Boom Boom. Shakalaka Boom Boom is a pencil which I give to those children who have their birthday or who do something good. And they consider this pencil as a magic pencil. They keep it very nicely for examination and all, and they say that it does magic. Then she said, sir, very interestingly, you gave this Shakalaka Boom Boom to one of the child, Ariman. I'm telling the name also. Just half an hour it happened, before it happened. So this Ariman came to classroom. He was very happy with this. And after that, we were discussing something and I appreciated this child like anything. This child was having tears in his eyes and he said, ma'am, this is my prized possession. This Shakalaka Boom Boom from principal, I would like to give it to you. Look at this. These children responds amazingly. I tell you one story. I was the founder principal of a school in Jammu. And on Teachers' Day, children were not coming. KG children, all other children were coming, but one KG child insisted his father that I would like to go to school. This girl came to school. She insisted I would like to meet principal. She came to me. I said, why have you come, beta? She said, sir, I thought it's your birthday. I said, so? He said, I have brought this small card for you. And this was not card, a small slip, just paper slip torn out. And it was written on this, very good. I said, why are you giving me very good? She said, sir, on my birthday, you came to my class. And in my almanac, you gave me good. At that moment, I found that I'm a loser. If I would have given her excellent, in reciprocation, I would have received better than excellent. So don't be miser in appreciation. Don't be miser in appreciating children in public. They will reciprocate better than that what you are giving them. In technology, you know so many things, but all of you will agree that your children know more than you. There is no harm if one day you ask children, okay, one of the child will teach the class and me this particular thing. This child will tell me about that, what are the different tools where you can have quizzes. We'll say, okay, Kahoot is there, this is there, this is there. Children will know so many things. We'll say, okay, sir, for survey, this monkey, survey, this, all those surveys are there. There is no problem in learning from youngers, and believe me, 80% of my education and learning came from people who were younger to me. And out of that also, 30 to 40% came from those innocent children who are in KG, kindergarten, because they are unique, they are pure, they are unadulterated souls who gives the purest things, eternal things to you to learn. And I learned so many things from these children. And my concept, I am right now working with Royal Society on prognosis, concept of prognosis. Just I will say something about prognosis. What is prognosis? For example, if we are dealing with a child and want to solve one of the problem or want to resolve or address one of the problem, we try to see what are the side effects. Like if Dr. Suresh will go to a doctor, I wish he should not visit the doctor at all for any reason. He should be happy and healthy. But if he goes and he says, sir, I'm feeling a little bit either cough or fever. So doctor will say, okay, for fever, you take this medicine. Maybe he has given some medicine, Crocin or whatever it is. But with that medicine, he will give you 2 more medicines. One will be for, the good stomach, one will be for acidity, one will be for some vitamin, because having that medicine, there will be 2 side effects. To cover them, 2 more supplements are given. Same in education. When a child is coming with some problem, try to address that problem. And while addressing the problem, try to see that this problem should not create 2 more side effects. Check those side effects. In learning process, if you are teaching one concept to the child, you think that child will learn everything. No, inquire, ask, reflect. You will find no, because child has understood this. So now he has 2 more questions. Address these 2 more questions, then child will say, yes, sir, now I am happy that I know everything, but still if I will have 1 more question, I will ask you. Then education is complete. It is not like just treating what we can see. Education is to treat what is unseen, what you can predict, what you can foresee, and what you can really guess. I would like to tell teachers that whenever they prepare any lesson plan, make a lesson plan which is worthy of teaching in the classroom and you enjoy. Whether your course is covered on time or not, it's important that you teach everything of something rather than something of everything. And try to incorporate extra classes, whatever it be, but you should also enjoy the class. If you will enjoy the class, children will enjoy the class. If you will see that, no, I'm not enjoying the class, children will also not enjoy the class.
Very true, Sharma sir. Absolutely true. Being a teacher of literature, this often happens with me that I end up lagging and taking up extra classes. Because once I go to the poetry classes, it often happens that once I start teaching Wordsworth, I go on to Shelley and then to Coleridge and then to Keats. And then once again I come back and then it happens that the class is over while I was giving the introduction.
Yes,
and I began with the first 2 lines and I end the class.
Salute to you, because you know very well, you are the people who prepare food in kitchen. So in India, it is said that jaisa khao an waisa hoga man. Or jaisa hoga man waisa pakega pakwan. If wife is annoyed and angry, or the chef is annoyed and angry, then food will have more spices, no taste, not good taste, and like that. So in classroom also, you are going with certain kind of dishes, certain kind of desserts. Prepare these with a happy mood, deliver it in the classroom with happy mood, outcome will be happiness. One last
in the class, I always ask them one question. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Yes, you should ask, but the time will come, you will have no feeling of that I must ask. You will see them enjoying.
Yes.
Correct. If you give ice cream to 3 people and all 3 people are smiling, you need not ask. Achhi lagi kya? Wo achhi lagi hi lagi hai. So one last thing, which is very important, try to test every time and reflect that what you are teaching children are also listening it in same way. I was in an interview 15 days back for a very reputed post of project director of a country to look after their education system. And there was one minister, almost minister kind of person, and around 10 to 12 people. They disagreed. They said, sir, how can you show? Then I took out one slip from my pocket. Okay, like this is the slip. I asked them, what is this slip? So one said, sir, it seems it's a bill. Second one said, sir, it's look like you know, the ticket. The third one said it's look like a visiting card which you have spoiled. So all 7 of them gave different versions. I said, this is nothing. This is my ATM slip. ATM cards, you know, when I took the money, this is the slip which came out. I said, I was showing you, but all of you interpreted in a different way. So in classroom also, when you are teaching something, you don't know what way children are interpreting it. So it's very important to assess and check that what you are teaching, children are understanding that only. Your interpretation need not to be taken by the student in the same spirit. To check and correct. And then that minister was laughing like anything. He said, Mr. Sharma, you proved it very nicely. Because there was one thing and all 6 of us interpreted it in a different way. Then I said, sir, if you allow me to, I would like to comment further. He said, what? He said, the person who thought that this is the ticket was thinking somewhere in the back of his mind was the ticket of some big thing. You can understand in some countries this is happening. So that thing. Another one said bill. I said somewhere in your subconscious mind there was a bill. So you will interpret the things the way you are thinking going in. In Hindu sculptures, Nair साहब को बहुत अच्छे से पता होगा. नायर साहब को जाकी रही भावना जैसी ता प्रभु मुहूर्त देखी तैसी. Whatever are your intentions, you will see the things like that only.
Perceptions matter.
The last, I will end with one simple story on the same context. So you need to check what your students are understanding. Is it the same what you want to teach or something different? So there were 3 people on a temple side, they were working. I have improvised this story. Okay. So one guru was walking from there. His disciple said, what is great in learning? He said, okay, I will check. So he asked the first, what are you doing? He said, see, I have to do something to earn my food, bread. So I'm preparing these idols and these pillars. Okay. They went to second one. Second one said, can't you see I'm breaking my head with these stones? There is third one. He said, God has given me the great opportunity to prepare his idol. So I'm preparing God's idol. So the disciple said, I did not understand. He said, okay, we will come to after 2 days. So after 2 days, they went. The first one was struggling with the idols. So the guru asked, what happened? He said, whenever I am preparing this idol, the face is turning into a chapati. It looks like face is like a chapati, because in his back of mind was that it is earning bread and butter. So chapati jaisa muh ho raha hai. Second one said, whenever I'm trying to make it, give it a final shape, it's breaking down. He was saying that मैं तो पत्थर से सर फोड़ रहा हूं, I'm breaking my head with these stones. And third one could prepare because he was in a spiritual mood and his back of mind was something great. So please remember, when you go inside the classroom, forget about the rest of the world. Consider you are in the heaven. You are in the heaven. I'm saying in English, not in Hindi. If I will say in Hindi that you are in Swarg, तो आप अंदर पहुंच के स्वर्गवासी कहलाने लग जाएंगे. So you should feel that you are in heaven, and it's an heavenly pleasure which you will try to feel inside the classroom. And as Dr. Baidia said, I enjoy my classes. I'm quite sure your children would also be enjoying your classes. So the happy child happy teacher, happy parent makes the school happy. If you want to make a happy school, and my vision, generally I write my vision that I try to get inspiration and empowerment to empower others. This means if principal is not trying to learn something, will not be able to give something to teachers, and further teachers will not be able to give something to
Yes.
students. Dr. Suresh knows every year I'm doing 1 or 2 courses from MOOC. Still, this year also I have done one course of 4 months from Harvard on leadership
Yes, sir.
techniques and all these things. वेरी सिंपल, अगर आपका ऊपर टैंक में ओवरहेड टैंक में पानी होगा तभी तो नीचे आएगा. अगर प्रिंसिपल के पास कुछ नहीं है तो वो टीचर को क्या सिखाएंगे, टीचर बच्चे को क्या सिखाएगा, बच्चा क्या सीखेगा. Sorry for using Hindi towards end. I don't know whether it was allowed or not.
No, not at
But
all, Papa.
thank you very much. And I must tell you, Dr. Nair, that the presence and facial expression of all three of you inspired me to deliver this talk. And this is one of my best talk in last 2 years.
Very, very good, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharma sir. We enjoyed your talk so much. Thank you so much for
Really-
giving your precious time to us.
Sir, we really enjoyed. And what you have said in your speech also, that we are all responsible for whatever we are doing. We cannot blame anybody else, like
Anybody
the
else.
student or the parent or the teacher. See, one way or the other, everybody is responsible for what is happening in the school. And being a principal or being a teacher, it is our duty and the
Full
responsibility. Yeah, to take the whole responsibility. And you said one thing, sir. I mean, teachers should not be miser in rewarding or appreciation. That's generally we have observed, sir. They are very much reluctant to appreciate the students, and at the same time, they are very much into criticize them or shout at them. So
And
whatever you
Nair
said is
Nair Sahab, that is because their principal is not generous to
maybe
I was about to just tell this. I was just about to tell this that no,
exactly the same.
we appreciate our children a lot for the smallest of the things that they do. We really appreciate them. We always encourage the children. Nowadays, it is the mantra, I should say, of encouragement.
It's
So, sir, allow me to leave.
Yes, sir. So thank you on behalf of IRDI Studio and on behalf of Center for Individual Resource Development International, that is CIRD. We all, because of the situation, you won't be able to see all the participants and all, but still, sir, we all enjoyed your lecture, sir. And it was self-enjoying. You also enjoyed, we also enjoyed, and the whole audience enjoyed your lesson, sir. It's reflective, of course. So thank you very much for coming and having this session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
we expect you to be with us for further, improvement or further growth of CIRD. Thank you very much, sir.
Pleasure is mine, sir.
Thank you, sir.
IDEA is Individual Resource Development International. It is a complete journey offered to the students to be prepared to lead a progressive life. This initiative is an effort by the like-minded professionals who have learned about life by their own experiences and by eventually realizing what seeds could have been sown to do better in life. We at IDEA Studio want to be the torchbearer in assisting the self-development of a child and help young minds see clear and a confident path to tread on. We want children, especially the ones in their teenage, to be well-groomed, independent, and judicious from an early stage in their lives. Yes, the program is primarily for the young, but there's a difference. The difference here is parent or adult participation and collaboration. Adults become the medium here. That is predominantly what our role is, right? To begin with, we make the children go through a series of tests while offering career guidance and counseling to them. These tests will be based on a combination of multiple intelligence theory, aptitude, and personality. These will help us determine not only the aptitude of a child based on his or her personality, but also their primary and secondary intelligences. Therefore, allowing us to give them a very clear and effective counseling as well as guide them to choose the right career paths. However, that is not what we stop at. We shall also be focusing on their grooming and confidence building. There are three programs which we have designed with the assistance of experts from around the world. We call them the Aram, Praram, and Parichay. Aram is for classes 5, 6, and 7, focusing on life skills, mind frame, knowledge quotient, interest, and hobbies. We believe this as the foundation for students to be better prepared as they have almost entered the adolescent phase or are about to. Next is Praram. Aram is the beginning and Praram is about being focused. This program is for the 8th, 9th, 10th standard students who have the desire to do something or are dealing with inner conflict which does not allow them to grow mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially. They only follow, which at this stage could seem to be true, but is only temporary and could actually affect the future, which is a very long, responsible, and a challenging phase. Let me help you understand this through numbers. Childhood is 0 to 10 years. Teenage phase is 11 to 19 years. Youth is 20 to 25. Human lifespan in a normal condition is at least 60 years. If we deduct the first 25 years as adults, the child needs to drive the next 35 years. Childhood was love, care, and guidance. Teenage was excess attention, love, peer pressure. Youth was love, expectations, and compulsions. All the three stages reflect concern and cooperation, but adulthood is responsibilities and independence, which many a times brings in fear, which compels us to be less experimental, lack the guts, and we become followers. So Prarabdha provides the foundation to build the potential through individual capacity and emotional stability. Parichaya is the last leg of program, where it is all about focus, setting goals, being enterprising, being human, being realistic, and connected to people, place, and emotions. As mentioned before, these programs are realistic and might not be ideal. Realistic for it caters individuals. Every enrolled student will be cajoled, will be encouraged, and walk through along with the assigned counselors, along with their parents. Every dream is individual, and so is every individual. So, how can we offer a standardized program to one and all? There is no one shoe that fits all. We have to go by the child and their personalities. Standardization could be possible in offering academic information, training into vocational subjects, pursuing hobbies, etc. We will work on the individuality of a child through this program. It's like science is a subject, while scientist is the inventor. It's like dancing is learning steps. The performance is individual expression, the choreography, and the interpretation. In a factory, a product is manufactured but sold through innovative ideas. This interpretation, innovation, and experimenting is what we will help children explore and also learn during their journey with us at IRDI Studio. Thank you. On behalf of all of us at Team IRDI, I thank you all. Do visit us at www.irdistudio.com. We encourage you subscribe to our channel and keep liking the videos and share your comments and thoughts in the comment section. Thank you.